Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our mathematics revision class, of which in today's class we are going to look at part 1 of 2022-2023 Math 1120 solutions. So I'm just going to explain some few concepts that you are supposed to know and some of the things that you need to take note of as you solve your final exams. So basically I'll start with question 1, and that's how question 1 was. So please make sure that you follow up, make sure that you know the do's and don'ts as we try to go through this paper. Okay, so the concepts are just the same, the theories behind are all the same. All you need is just for you to apply the concepts and anything that you are supposed to apply. So let's quickly look at question 1. Question 1 is saying use set notation to describe. So use set notation to describe the shaded region in the Venn diagram shown below. Okay, so some of you might get confused looking at how the Venn diagram is, but this is something that is very easy and is something that you can easily solve. So let's quickly look at how best you can solve and how best you can approach this question. So I'll write my one there. So in this particular question, this is how I can approach this question for me to avoid making mistakes and for me to be able to analyze the question. So I have set A and I also have set B. I have set A and I also have set B. So if you look at set A and B, these are two sets that are intersecting. Now, what I'm going to do first, it's not me going direct to the answer, but me finding the method I can easily know the answer. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to define this region. I'm going to shade the O of this region, and I'm going to define it. So this is how how I can approach this question. So I'll first define this region. So if I define this region is the same as A union B. That's my first way of doing it. And I'm going to define the other region, which is, let's say I go set A and again I go set B, and then this is simply the universal set. So the next step I'm going to do is to define the region which is unshaded. So I'll quickly get that region, which is this region. Okay, so this region is the same as A intersection what? B. A intersection B. So with these two regions in mind, I can easily now come up with this particular region, the solution to this particular answer. So since I know that this is A union B, and I know that the unshaded region is what? A intersection B. And the question have been asked is for me to state what the region which is shaded is. So in short, what we are just simply doing, we are removing A union B from A intersection B. Okay, we are removing that small part which is A intersection B. We are removing it from what? From A union B. We are removing this small part, we are removing it from there. This small part, we are removing it from there. This is my approach. This is how best I can go. First, I know what the whole part is, including that, which is A union B. Then I know what that small part is, which is A intersection B. And later on, I remove the small part from the big part. So if you look at this answer, the answer for this question is just simply open bracket A union B, okay, which is this whole part, minus, I'm removing, minus open bracket A intersection what B. So this is how easily you can identify. You can't come up with the answer for this question just by looking. No, you have to find a method and a way you can solve this one. So, ladies and gentlemen, do we have anyone with a question on the first one so that we can move on? Anyone with a question? Please feel free. Frida, do you have a question? Is Frida around? Okay, Pauline, do you have a question?
No, sir.
Yes, what's your question?
I don't have a question.
Oh, okay, that's good then. Okay, with that being said, we can easily move on and look at the next part. So the next part is, given that A is equal to negative infinity to negative 2 union open bracket 5 comma positive infinity comma or close bracket, and B is equal to that, a subset of the set of real numbers. So these are subset of a set of real numbers. Then you have been asked to find A, B minus A. So solution. So this is how easily you can approach this question. Once you see a question like this, you need to know the type of brackets. So this type or that type, it simply means that it is a closed bracket. Then this type or that type, it simply means that it's an open what? Open bracket. Then one thing that you need to know is that this close bracket, it's go with a shaded circle on a number line. And then this open bracket, it goes with the unshaded circle on the what? On the number line. Now, the statement is saying both A and B are subsets of real numbers. So one thing that should first come in your mind is to convert these sets into what we are calling a number line representation. So this is how you can easily go with the number line representation. You need to use the number line when it comes to questions like this. Please check out the tutorial videos and the lecture class on sets which are on the YouTube channel. So please go and check them out. So this is your universal set, okay? And this universal set, you have been taught, is a set of real numbers. So a set of real numbers, it starts from negative infinity to what? To positive infinity. And then the demarcation is what? Is 0. 0 is separating positives from negatives or negatives from positives. Then you are going to utilize this number line and present the sets you have been given. So you're going to start with the set B, since it is B minus A. So you're going to start with set B. What is set B? Set B is starting from -3 to what? To 6. Now, this set B is a set which has been said to be block bracket -3, what, comma 6, open bracket. So, if you look at what we have been given, this is coming now to you utilizing the information I have given here. So what you are going to do right now is for you to know, is -3 part of the answer or not. So in this case, -3 is part of the answer. So you're going to use what? A block bracket or a shaded circle like that. Just the way I've explained that. So please, if you want all the basics on this, please go and check out my tutorial video on sets, and I've given a lot of examples on that. Then this one, which is 6, you're going to compare with the bracket which is there. So this is an open bracket, so you're going to put the open circle. Then you do what? You join them like that. So this is your set B. Now let's look at set A. Set A is a set whereby you are coming from -infinity up to -2. So -2 is somewhere here, and then this -2, you ask yourself, is it part of the answer? Yes, it is. So it's going to be shaded and it's going to -infinity. So you are going to go this side like that. Then you're going to say union 5, infinity. Where is 5? 5 is somewhere here. You're going to go up, then you're going to put unshaded because 5 is not part of the answer, and then you go this side. Just easy, and you can find that your answer has already shown itself, because this is set A, that is set A, and the middle part is what? Is set B. The middle part is set B. Now you go back to the question. What is the question telling you? What do they want? The question is saying from B remove A. From B remove A. We don't want anything that is in A to be part of the answer. So what we are just simply now focusing on, it is the part which has remained, and the part which has remained, it is this particular part. So this is the part which has remained. Now, which two numbers are in between this part? So you're going to say B minus A is simply equal to which two numbers are in between. So the two numbers which are in between, it's -2, 5. Have you seen me? What I've written here, I've not gone direct to the brackets. I've first gone to the numbers which are in between. Why? Because I now need to analyze the brackets. So I'll go on 2 and say, I'll ask myself, is 2 part of the answer? Is 2 part of the answer? The answer is no, it's not part of the answer. Why? Because -2 is in set A. Since -2 is in set A, then our answer will not have what? A 2. If you observe, this has, the answer is having the opposite of that one there. So the bracket will be open bracket. Then I'll go on 5. Is 5 in A? The answer is that 5 is not in A. As a result, 5 is what? Is part of the answer. and then I'll connect them like that. I'll analyze my circle. It is for shaded, so I'll use that block bracket. In some cases, you find that you might be asked to represent your work on a number line. So here, after you do all you have done there, you're going to do that. You write those guys, and then you represent your work on a number line the way I have represented, just by taking that area. So you're going to say open, and then you say 5, and then 5 is closed, and then you connect them like that. Easy, nothing hard, and just doing the work according. So this was the solution for the second part. Do we have someone with a question? Anyone with a question? Fides, any question? Do you have a question? Question? Guys, let's participate. Those with question, ask questions.
No, sir, it's clear.
It's clear, that's good. Those with questions, ask questions. Okay, this, we are taking this serious, and we need to make sure that we get it right. So let's quickly move on and look at the next one, which is B. Look guys, we did this in math 1100. We did this, but what's the difference between these two guys? There is no difference. The only thing that we need to do is just to apply the simple steps that we know. Let's quickly look at the solution. Okay, I have been given B, and B is saying, given that X and Y are real numbers, solve for X and Y in the equation. So look, this equation is 1 over X plus yi, and then plus 1 over 1 plus 3i is equal to 1. There are so many ways you can approach this question. There are so many ways you can approach this question, but there is always the simplest method or way of doing things. Let me show you the simplest way. You can look at one side of the question. If you look at one side of the question, which part is having X and Y? It is this part here. So this is the guy who is having X and Y. If I want, I can find the lowest common denominator for both sides. Okay, some of you might love to go this way. Please don't write down this. X plus yi, and then you say 1 plus 3i, and then you do this one into that one. It's that one. So you're going to have 1 plus 3i, and then this one into that one is that one. So you're going to have X plus yi is equal to 1. Yeah, even this way you can find the answer, but the problem is that you are now making the question more longer. So this way, I can advise that this way is not the best way you can approach this question. Why? In an exam, you are rushing for time, and you are also chasing what? Marks. Because once time finishes and you haven't finished, then your work done is 0. So you need to make sure that you are moving according to time. So what I'm going to do, since this guy is perfect, I'm going to say 1 over X plus yi should be equal to 1, and then this one I'll take it to the other side. It's going to be negative 1 over 1 plus what? 3i. What's next? My next step will be 1 over X plus yi, you find the common denominator here. It is what? It is 1 plus 3i, and then you're going to do what? You're going to say this 1 into that, it's 1 into that, it is simply what? It is simply 1, and then 1 into that is that times 1, it is 1 plus 3i, and then you say this into that, it is simply 1 times -1, it's -1. When you do that, you solve them like a fraction. You're going to continue from here. 1 over x plus yi is equal to 1 minus 1, it is 0. So you're going to have 3i over 1 plus what? 3i. Now, a problem has come in. What problem is this? The problem is that on top we have what? We have a 1. But for our friends on the other side, it is 3i. The problem has come in. This side, it is 3i. That side, it is 1. Now, the question, the tricky part here, this is where everyone got it wrong. I doubt if someone got this one right. This is where a problem comes in. How has the problem come in? Here's how a problem has come in. We all know that the way we were taught in class is to know how to rationalize the denominator. That's what we were taught. But this time around in the final exam, we are now being asked to work for the what? For the numerator. So how can I find a 1? That's the question I should ask myself. So the only way I can find a 1 here is by doing what? Is by multiplying the numerator and the denominator, by multiplying the numerator and the denominator by I over 3. I over 3. And then also this side, I multiply by what? I over 3. That's how easily I can look for the what? That's how easily I can find a negative, or I can find a 1 on top. So once I do that, what I also need to understand is that when I multiply I times I, it's going to give me what? -1. I times I is -1. And we know that if I times I is -1, then we are going to have a problem again. What problem are we going to have? Then this one will be not equal to -1. So I have to put a negative in front. So that when I say I times I is -1, -1 times that negative, it will give me a positive. So I'm going to now multiply everything by -I over 3, because I know 3i times -I over 3 is the same as 3i squared times -1 over what? Over 3. This will give me 3 times -1 times -1. The -1 here is the one which is in front. So that times that, there over 3, that times that, it will be 3 over 3, and this will simply give me what? 1. And that one is the one which is on the other side. Now, let's look at how we can move on if we do that. So that's the numerator part. What will happen to the numerator? So this is how now I'm going to move next. I'm going to say 1 over x plus iy, like you saw from my working this side. On top it's going to be 1, and then over, 1 times negative I, 1 times negative I over 3 is going to be that, negative that, and then this times that, it will simply be what? Positive 1, because already this what is on top is that's part, so it's the same thing the way we worked out there. So once you do this, what are you going to do? So when you do this, your next step is now to do what? To arrange these guys according to that. So you're going to say, let me change my color. You're going to say 1 over x plus yi is equal to 1 over, you're going to rearrange this, so it's going to be 1 minus 1 over 3 and then I outside, because you know that negative 1 over 3 times I, your answer will be negative I over 3 is one and the same. So when you do that, your next step is an easy step. Your next step is just to get x, you equate it to a real part because x is the real part in that case and y is the imaginary part. So therefore you say x is equal to 1 because they are x and that 1, they are the same, and the y is equal to, it's just the negative 1 over 3. So this is the final answer. Ladies and gentlemen, do we have someone with a question? Please, if you have a question, feel free to ask. Do we have someone with the question? Questions? Any question? Who is around? Mary, do you have a question? Mary, do you have a question? Okay.
No, sir, I don't have a question.
All right, that's good. That's good. Okay, let's move on and look at the other guy. So the other guy is another part which we did in math 1120 or 1100, sorry. It's the same thing that we did in math 1120. So I'll write solution there. So this is a question which you have been asked to rationalize. So please make sure that you watch the tutorial video on rationalization. I'll send the links to the tutorial videos which I posted. So guys, you have 7 plus 1 over square root 7 minus 1. The only thing needed here is just to find the what? The conjugate of that. So you're going to say times square root 7 plus 1 over square root 7 plus what? Plus 1. You're just changing the sign on the denominator. You're just changing the sign on the denominator. So from here, you can easily say square root 7 plus 1, and then you're multiplying it with the square root 7 plus 1, and then down there, this guy has become difference of 2 squares. So since it's difference of 2 squares, you can easily say square root 7 squared minus 1 squared. With that in mind, you can work out what is on top. Square root 7, open bracket, you multiply it by that, square root 7 plus 1, and then you say again plus 1, then open bracket, you say square root 7 plus 1. Then you say over, you work out what is down there. So what is down there is square root 7 squared is 7, and then negative 1 squared is 1. So we're going to say minus that. With that in mind, you can work out what is on top. Square root 7 times square root 7, you know, square root a times square root a, the answer is what? A. So you're going to say square root 7 times 7, the answer will simply be what? Will simply be 7. Square root 7 times 1, the answer is positive square root 7. And then plus, you say square root 7 times square root 7, the answer is square root 7, like that. And then 1 times 1, the answer is 1. Then over, you're going to say 7 minus 1, it is 6. So with that in mind, you're going to move again. What you're going to do is like them. 7 plus 1, it's simply 8. And then square root 7 plus square root 7, the answer is 2 square root 7 over 6. It's more like x plus x is equal to 2x. Same applies with square root 7 plus square root 7. The answer is 2 square root 7. With that in mind, you can just simply change these guys here in that form. So we're going to say 8 over 6 plus 2 over 6 square root 7. Then you write them in the lowest common in the lowest or simplest form. So you're going to say 2 into 8 is 4, and then 2 into 6 is 3. Then you say plus, you say 2 into 2 is 1, 2 into 6 is 3, and then square root 7. So that's how easily you can work out that question. Ladies and gentlemen, is there any questions so far? Esther, do you have a question? Esther, any question? Is Esther around? Okay, Pauline, any question? Okay, it's like maybe people are having challenges with unmuting themselves. So let's move on and look at the next part. So the next part is that guy there, which was the last guy. So the next part is that guy there, which was the last guy there. So let me quickly solve it and see how best you can approach such a question. Okay.
No, sir.
All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you. It's like you have network problems. Okay. So the class is being recorded, and I'll make sure that I post it. So please, in case you're having challenges, you can go through it. Also, you can WhatsApp me. So look, this question is a nice question, you know. So you have 1 plus x squared over 1 minus x negative 3. Look, this is what they wanted you to do. They wanted you to know this. You know that 1 plus x squared, sorry, x, let me write that properly. Okay. 1 minus x squared, okay, over, this is what they wanted you to know. You know that x to the power -1 is the same as 1 over what? X. X to the power -1 is the same as 1 over what? X. So the problem where people were getting it wrong is here. Only the negative which 3 is having. So this is where people were getting it wrong. Now, how were they getting it wrong? They were failing to analyze something like this. When you have such an expression, what you need to write is this guy to convert it to 1 over 1 minus x to the power 3. Okay? You work it out like that. Then, this guy, you know that 1 over x is the same as 1 divided by 1 over x, which is the same as 1 times x over 1, which is the same as 1 times x. Okay? Same applies here. When you change this guy will give you something like this. It will give you 1 plus x squared divided by 1 over 1 minus x to the power 3. Okay? This is what you have. Now, this cannot just finish from there. What you are now going to have is, this will interchange. So you're going to have 1 plus x squared times, okay, times 1 minus x cubed over what? Over 1. That's what you have, which is the same way we moved there. Same thing. This is the way we moved. Next, what you're going to do is, you know that this and that is the same. So you're going to have 1 plus x squared multiplied by 1 minus x cubed. Now, after you find these guys, the question is, find the coefficient. Find the what? The coefficient of x squared. The coefficient of what? X squared. But before I even do that, what was I supposed to? I was supposed to simplify like that. Go and check Unza past papers. I'm giving you that task, and you're going to come and tell me one thing. Go and check Unza past papers. Now, when you go and check Unza past papers, this is a question you're going to find. This is the type of question you're going to find. You won't find that, this was a new question which was formed this year, but you are going to find a question that looks like this one. Now, this is a question you were practicing everywhere, but this question now is a question that you know. So your next task is to do what you do, or what you used to do when revising using that. So what we are now going to do is that we are now going to solve those guys separately. So we are going to expand this one. So we are going to say 1 plus x open bracket squared. We are first going to do what? We are first going to expand that guy. So when we expand this guy, I think this stage I'll give you a task to go and expand. You know how to expand this one, so I'll give you a task to go and expand. But when you expand, this is what you're going to find. You're going to find 1, okay, 1 plus 2x, 1 plus 2x, and then plus x squared. 1 plus 2x plus x squared. Then you are also going to expand the other friend of ours, who is open bracket 1 minus x close bracket cubed is equal to, so when you expand this is what you are simply going to have. When you expand the second guy, this is what you expect to have. So what you expect to have is something like 1 minus 3x, 1 minus 3x plus 3x squared plus 3x squared minus x cubed, minus x cubed. You can use the Pascal's triangle to expand, or you can go step by step. Now, after you do this part you are having, these answers we have gotten, they are not the final answers. These answers here, they are not the final answers. Why are they not the final answers? The reason is that we need now to multiply this one times that one. So you're going to write like that. You're going to say open bracket 1 plus 2x plus x squared close bracket. Okay, when you do that, you are now going to multiply it with open bracket 1 minus 3x plus 3x squared minus x cubed. So this is now what you have. But we are not going to multiply everything there. Okay? Why are we not going to multiply everything there? The reason is simple. We are only interested in what? X cubed. X squared. We are only interested in what? X squared. X squared is the only thing that we are interested in. So how are you going to find x squared? You are going to know that this one will be multiplied by everything there, isn't it? But when I multiply 1 by 1, it's going to give me 1. 1 by negative 3, it's going to give me negative 3x, which I don't want, because I don't want 1, I don't want negative 3x, I don't want x cubed. So why should I go in that particular order? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to multiply 1. I multiply it by that guy there. So I'm going to say 1 times 3x squared. Okay, then close bracket, I'll say plus, then I'll go for these two here. You need to look for a way which is short. Okay, so here now I need to multiply this 2x by everything there, but 2x times 1, it's 2x. I don't want it according to the question. Then 2x times 3x, it is 6x cubed. I don't want it. but 2x times negative 3x is going to give me, open bracket, you're going to have 2x times negative 3x, because I know that x times x is x squared, so I need an x squared. Then I'll say plus, at that particular point I'll go and play with x squared there. So when I play with the cards for x squared, what am I going to have? I'm going to multiply it with a 1 there. I don't have to multiply it by everything. So I'll say x squared plus times what? Times 1. Because I know x squared times 1, it is x squared. So what I have there is 1 times 3x. The answer is 3x squared. Okay, then 2x times negative 3x, it's negative 6x squared. Then I'm going to say 1 times x squared. The answer is simply what? It is plus x squared. When you add all these, guys, 3x squared minus 6x squared is going to give you what? Negative 3x squared. Plus that is going to give you negative 2x squared. Now, I have my negative 2x squared. That's what I have. Now, the question is saying, find the what? The coefficient. Okay, what is the coefficient? A number in front. So the answer here is you say therefore the coefficient of x squared is equal to what? Is negative 2. Is negative 2. So that's how easily you can get it. Is negative 2. You're done. So simple and straightforward. Simple and straightforward. Nothing to worry about. Now, let me go to the last question. I have only 5 minutes because I have a meeting at 21 hours. So let me solve the last guy, and then if there are any question, you guys will ask me, and then we'll move. So the last question, I'll say solution. Then from here, find the term independent of x. I think there is another tutorial video which was for revision. I think you should check it out. So here you have 2x squared minus 1 over x to the power 12. So the first thing you will need to identify which one is a and which one is b. So this one is your a, this one is your b, and this one is your n. So you have a is equal to 2x squared, b is equal to negative 1 over x, n is equal to 12, but r you don't know. So your first job is to look for what? R. Now, how can you look for R? R is a very easy thing to look for. You're going to use the formula. So this formula is not given, which is n combination R, and then you know a should be equal to what? N combination R, and then you're going to find a. What are you going to put on a? Is it 12? Is it 12 we are having there? Okay, it's 12. So you're going to say 12 minus r, and then b to the power t r. 12 minus r and then b to the power t to the power r. So when you have that, you can easily move on and look for the rth term. So here what we have is as follows. So you're going to replace what is a, what is b, and what is r. So here what you're going to say, you have 12 as your n, and then r you don't know, then a is what, 2x squared, and then to the power 12 minus r, which you don't know, and then you can say times z. You can put this guy, you can change it. It is 1 over x, so you can easily change it to x to the power -1, and then r like that. So once you have that, you can easily move on. Once you have that, you can easily move on. So how best can you move on at this particular moment? So this is how easily you can work it out. You can simply get the guys for x, since x is our main interest, or you can go as far as this. So you can say 12 combination r, and then you say 2, since these guys are multiplication and their power, that you can say 12 minus r, and then x can be alone, you say x squared, you say 12 minus r, and then you say dot, you're going to say -1 alone to the power r, and then x to the power 1 times r. Now since you have these guys, okay, your next task is for you now to look for r. Now the term independent of x, that simply means that a constant term, okay, meaning we are looking for a constant term. And a constant term, you know that x is to the power t 0. For the independent term, the x is to the power 0. So with that in mind, you can easily work out, you just get the x's there. You're not going to get anything apart from the guy with the x. So what I'm saying, you're just going to get this one here, okay, this one there, and also that one there. You're going to get those guys here. So when you get those guys, what you are now going to simply say is as follows. You're going to get that one. Let me just quickly change my color. So you're just simply going to get that one, which is x squared brackets 12 minus r dot, you get that one also, x -1, and then to the power r is equal to this one I told you there, x to the power 0. You know, this times that, you are simply going to say x 2 times that is going to be 24 minus 2r, and then you're going to say dot, you're going to multiply negative r there. It's going to be x negative r is equal to what? 0. X to the power 0, sorry, x to the power 0. That's what you are going to have there. Let me just write it properly for you to easily follow. So there you're going to have x to the power 0. The one, this x to the power 0 has come from that, which is coming from the statement. So since these are the same, they are same bases according to indices, so this will be x 24 minus 2r, same bases, and we are multiplying, so we are going to add. So when you add, this will be negative r is equal to x to the power 0. With that being done, you can easily get rid of the x there. Then you're going to have 24 minus 2r minus r is equal to what? 0. So when you say negative 2r minus 2r, the answer is what? The answer is negative 3. So now we have 24 minus 3r is equal to what? 0. So to look for r, what we are going to do, this will go to the other side, so it will be 3r is equal to 24, and then over 3 over 3, then that one and that one will go. R will simply be equal to what? 8. R will simply be equal to what? 8. So once you do that, you can go back to your formula, and now you can just say, since we already have r, we now have n, so you go back to your formula, which is n combination r is equal to a to the power n minus r, and then b to the power r. So what is our n? Our n is still 12. What is our r? Our r is now 8. What is our a? It is 2x squared to the power 12 minus 8. What is our b? It's negative 1 over x to the power 8. After you do that, this will now make your work easier. So how do you find now the guy there? How do you find the 12 combination 8? So that one will simply be 12 combination 8, and then there you say 2x squared, and then you say 12 minus 8 is simply 4, and then you're going to have negative 1 over 8 to the power 8. 12 combination 4 is simply 12 factorial over n minus r, and then r like that. So there is a formula of, let's say, n combination r. The formula is simply n factorial over n minus r factorial r factorial. That's the formula. So we are simply going to say 12 minus 8 factorial, and then you're going to say 8 factorial. Then you say multiply by 2 to the power 4. So you say 2 times 2, it is 4. 4 times 2, it is 8. 8 times 2, it is 16. So you have 16, and then x to the power 2 times 4, it is simply 8, and then dot. Since this is an even number, so 1 to the power 8, it will simply be 1. Negative 1 to the power 8, since it's an even number, it's just going to be positive there. Then x to the power 8. So that's what I call my checkpoint personally. So since this one and that one, they will cancel. So now what I have is 12 factorial over 12 minus 8 is simply 4. So it will be 4 factorial 8 factorial, and then you're going to have times, which is times 16 there. So with that in mind, I can easily move on without any difficulties. So 12 factorial is the same as 12 times 11 times 10 times 9 times 80 factorial over, you're going to say 4 factorial times 80 factorial times what? Times 16. So after you do that, I think you guys can easily even work on that. And here it's simple now. So you're going to get that one and that one out. So the 2 will go out. When the 2 goes out, 4 factorial will simply be equal to 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So this will now simply be 12 times 11 times 10 times 9 over 4 times 2 times 3 times 1. Sorry, I've swapped 2 and 3, but multiplication is commutative, so it's not a big deal. So times what? 16. You know that you know that 4 into 16, it is 4, and then 2 into 4 is 2, so that one and that one, this will be 2, and then 3 into 9 or 12, it is simply what? It's simply 4. 3 into 12 is 4. So after I do that, so I'm having 11 times, I can say 4 times 2, it's 8. So I'm having 11 times 10 times 9. 11 times 10 times 9 times 8. Because 4 times 2, it's 8. So I'll start with 11 times 10 times 9 times 8. So I'll have 11 times 10 times 9 times 8. So this is what I have. So when I have something like this, because of time, I need to be a little bit smart. So I can say 9 times 8. So 9 times 8, 9 times 9, it's 81, isn't it? 9 times 1, it's 81. So 9 times 8 is just 72, isn't it? Yeah, 72. Or you can say 64 plus 8, it will simply give you 72. So you need to be a bit smart when solving. So there you're going to say 11 times 10 times 72. You can't say 72 times 11, no. Then you are making things a little bit hard. So you're going to say 72 times 10. So this will be 11 times 720. Since you don't have a calculator, then now you're going to use your grade 1 work, and then say 1 times 1 is 0, or 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 7, it is 7. Then 1, before you do this one, you put a 0. 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 7 is 7. Then you add 0 plus 0, 0, 2 plus 0 is 2, 7 plus 2 is 9, 7 plus 0, it is 7. So the final answer here was 7,920. So that's how easily you can work out. So this marks the end of our class. Please, if you have question, you can ask now, or you can contact me on the line which I have simply projected.